it seems like an aggressive opener for me. You know, there's an arrow and a drone coming from long C, and 4 people just going in. Will they do this? They just go into the double deals. Super aggressive push. NiP should be prepared for that, but they're not, because they're already rotating from A and they're very far away.
Yeah, I mean, that's a very clear one, but here comes the concussion, and that slows it down a slight bit. Kriya waiting there behind the cage. Can't find the first as he dings, but Rhyme is on it as well. Double kill coming in from him, and so the plant on C is fast. This is something they do very often, and as Chihuahua tries to find a bit more control over on the side, JD is chiming in, and so the control seems to belong back to NiP. A matter of seconds, as fast they were on site, they left it again. But, you know, pretty much as a little corpse.
Do they have a stopwatch here somewhere? Because how long was this round? 10 seconds? 15? 20 maybe? I don't even know. It was nuts. Like, it was so fast. Honestly, I was a little bit surprised NiP didn't stack the C, because in the previous 6 games of Guild on attack on Haven, they were going like C basically almost every single time. But they still managed to prevail. You can see how important are those sky flashes.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like,
that was
nuts.
Wonderful to watch, really. That piece of utility. And you have to see, when we talk about pistol round attack speed on the side of Guild, so they either end up on the B side within the first 5 seconds or on C plant in first of the 10 seconds. So yeah, it is swift and fast. I cannot imagine that will go that way, as in the meantime, that kind of a long control is coming in from NiP, trying to rule out positions, whilst Rhyme could be the first victim in this.
Wow, I was actually so close. I always hate when the defenders are so aggressive on attack. Sorry, so aggressive on defense against eco, because it's so easy to prey on those people. But NiP knows no fear. Rhyme dies, but it's the only casualty so far, and they didn't sacrifice much. I'm gonna assume JD will still pick up that Spectre. They have a lot of time to finish up the round with Soul. Cypher just standing there with his frenzy, and there's the Spectre being picked up, so they don't really lose anything apart from the big shields on Rhyme, which cost them 1000 credits. And in this case, we're gonna have a bonus round for NiP. If I'm not mistaken, they had 1 player with a pistol, so they're gonna invest into 1 rifle and still have a full buy. Yeah, there we go. There's a Vandal on Rhyme. We're gonna have a full buy on the next round. Actually, no, he has a Phantom instead. All right, so good choice, because they know their opponents, not every single one of them, should have a big shield, and this is Scythe with 195 HP.
And it's lovely to see how they really, even as a defender, take so much map control. Ruling out C entirely has given them a quite good idea what they can expect right at the moment. As you see already, Sova rotate. Same goes for Kriya. And you know how hesitant Guild seems at that moment, because they know how much information, you know, has been left out. Now they know about the mid attention, and they still go for it. They don't wait defensively back on their sides. They definitely try to take that control.
What happened here? With that
it's coming back at you. It's a boomerang.
Yeah, I like the satchel. Destroyed the camera on top. They heard it. The satchels are great for that. Unfortunately, they cost 200, so they're not, you know, they're not shock darts for 100. They are perfect for destroying utility from Cypher, but they're creeping out on long, and Akuko's trying to get info here and peeks into a Vandal headshot from Yasin.
That's a massive bit of damage dealt, and you know, now they have to make that decision. At the same time, Kriya is still there with utility, right? This is the thing about C, that they still can't deny it, they still can stall it, but Yasin is going in, and there you go. Gotta wait longer. The timer is ticking, but what has happened on the A side is a Safe being sneaky and patient. Kriya needs to have him on his radar, but the question is, yes, he does. And that rotation is coming in swift, but that's not going to be fast enough from him. That utility is not coming in time. The second bit coming in as well, but Leo is not going to be attacked by it. Still, they find the frags. 3 versus 3 it is, and the A side retake has now been initiated. The cam is in, information has been gained. Yasin is still on the hunt. Yasin is still on the hunt, and he wants definitely a bit more than that. Not going to happen. Kriya moves backwards, and now the new agent is going to shine. Though no stores are left, that might be not the brightest heaven. It's not the case. Bonkar finds what is needed, and here comes the first one.
Yeah, it was actually a very impressive round by both teams, because it was going back and forth. Yasin with the clutch, of course, You know, nothing new here. That he had that double kill, you can't really predict that will go that way. But Bonker with the impact kill on, you know, on that clutch, that's something I was specifically talking before. He is showing up in those situations, and he's playing a Sova. He knows his role. He's, you know, he's the in-game leader as well. So he's taking his time, and he is most often clutching, and he has success so far in this game.
All the things come to him who waits is my motivational sentence of today, as Draken is motivating himself by directly entering the A site. JD though finds damage dealer himself, Yassine. Chihuahua.
What a headshot.
What an headshot indeed. And you know, this is where JD could play a pivotal role, ain't the fact? And suddenly the boombot comes out of the smoke. You hate to see it, because he was trying to lurk so smart. But the man who's left with 30 points of health has to shoot the dart, is known, is spotted, and...
They were not even allowed to plant, which is a great timing and spacing on the utility. You could have seen Rhyme use his paint shells on this side to delay the plant. We have seen also the shock darts and the Hunter's Fury from JD, which is basically like, I don't know, 20 seconds of delay on the plant. They didn't get it in the end because of all of those all of that utility being used. So great spacing from NiP, and this is something that you will see often on the A side because it's being allowed. It's open from many angles. You have Haven, you have the B link, which has no roof over it, so you can still use utility over that. But in the meantime, we can't really talk about that because there's already another round. Drone is being used on C long to get some info. Existence lurking this time on A, and he can transfer those information that no one is here.
Oh, Yassine was very much looking for the sheriff in hand to find that wonderful one tap to come out of the Scream School, but ain't happening. That bell was ringing away earlier, and as JD is unfortunately for him not finding any information, patience sometimes is key. I mean, you saw it earlier. JD has proven that. But NiP is in an excellent spot here, Lofar. I really enjoyed the kind of defense we have seen so far from them.
Yeah, it's kind of surprising as well because they were not so successful on defense before on all of the maps, but now they're 1-3 ahead, or 3-1. But we'll see how it goes. This is an eco round, so I don't really see them struggling, especially with Leo. Although it's Leo, you never know with this guy. We have seen him in the past on this map exactly with those clutches, the memorable 4K on A side when he was on A short was actually nuts. But in general, I would say this is not looking good for Guild. This map is favoring attackers a little bit. So right now, the only thing that they have to do, and it's imperative, they cannot allow NiP to chain rounds because there will be so high in economy. And since NiP doesn't really play operators, they will be allowed to just have rifles almost every single round. Oh my god, Rhyme with the rocket! He misses it! No way!
It looked like it must have been in the center that he'd at least deal some damage, but wrong. That didn't happen at all. And this obviously is a very clear indication that the A side is open for business, and those gates have absolutely been shattered. At the same time, the patience of Guild, it could pay off, because I don't think they're going to have Draken right now on their radar. I doubt it. I very much doubt it, but he only finds one. Kriya and JD, that's a very risky combination, as especially JD is that kind of individual that rocks the ACS standings, very much there on top, and is, you know, a guy you don't really want to face most of the time.
This is, they still have a lot of key pieces of utility. 2 shock darts, the recon dart available for a retake. So JD should wait for Astra to come. There's a star being placed right now. The gravity well was being used on spot, but that doesn't stop the plan. But JD just finds a kill in the meantime. He's using the recon arrow, and now they're being prepared to use that for the retake. The Rolling Thunder stops them from doing that, and now, well, they have to commit to something. But Sesh, I'm actually kind of doubting what they will do.
Very much indeed. Understandable, as though Kriya is still hungry for more. And taking a look at the HP of Bonkar, it is about time to do something. You know, that clock is ticking and the time is running against him. He moves down. Now he's having a little less, but the shots, the pre-fire could have been a nice idea. But the only one who is left from that initial NiP roster is killing them all, or more likely getting that control. And taking a look at that scoreboard right now, you criticized him earlier, and I think he heard you, Lothar.
I mean, I was saying that he's getting more and more impact frags, and those are the impact frags that are so important, right? 2 kills out of his 3 so far from Bonkar are the ones to win the round. So it's especially important for a player like that to have that bit of confidence, because he will be often in those situations. So hats off to Bonkar so far. We'll see how it goes further, but the scoreline is still not favoring Guild. They're losing a lot of weapons. They cannot build up that economy even when they're winning a round. And you've seen with the opening frag, not really a surprise.
Oh no.
But he goes with a showstopper when he doesn't really know what's happening.
No.
Chihuahua just peeks into the raid showstopper. What is happening?
I mean, you have to say the man is just, you know, sitting there in a slingshot and still finds a kill. This is not the round NiP has hoped for. And so the momentum shifts as Ryan, you know, desperately looks to get that lurk. Very wonderful that save has been taken out, but at the end of the day, it most likely won't make a change. It most likely won't make any big difference. It is, again, Guild finding a round. And, you know, what looked like a disaster just in the early game seems to swap around fairly fast for now.
I was kind of trying to think if they're going to try to retake, because, you know, both drone and the recon arrow were available. If Rhyme would have used that to get an entry kill, and then JD would have gotten a kill as well, then he has the Hunter's Fury. Of course, there's many key pieces that will have to fall into place, like a jigsaw puzzle, to solve this round. But it was a daunting task, and I didn't know how much cash they have in the bank, so probably saving was needed to have a full buy next round, right? I actually had a lot of cash. So I'm not sure. Maybe it was worth to actually get even some exit frags to ruin Guild economy even further, right? Because they do get a chain round, but I don't think they're still great when it comes to the bank status. But I have to question Chihuahua's decision there. He knew showstoppers off. He saw his opponent in his trap.
Right.
That's the perfect situation when Raze has to like pick up a gun to destroy the trap, or someone has to do that for her, so you don't really want to peek when she still has the rocket in hand. Oh no, what a play!
That's so smart. Oh, goodness gracious. He pulls him in. He sucks him in just right there, as he was just, you know, I got you. I know where you are. Your drown is not that helpful at the end, and Bonkar is just must have shaken his head. What a play there, Lothar.
I have to explain that a little bit. Maybe someone missed it in the chat. Like when you use the drone on C-Long, you're standing typically on a one spot just right behind the corner.
Yeah.
And there are 2 characters that like to counter that. Breach with his Aftershock, because Sova is not alerted that he is in a damage zone of the Aftershock, and he just dies when the Breach knows when he's standing and droning, right? But here, the gravity well just picked up the Sova, right, you know, right behind the corner into the crosses of Astra. That was such a smart and just beautiful play to behold. So I'm very happy to see that flexibility and creativity coming from Korea here. It's a fantastic play, and then for sure we're not gonna see Bonkar do this stuff again.
Never again. Under no circumstance he's just gonna casually stand close to the corner anymore. At the same time, the castle has been conquered over on A, and as the shock darts land, still nothing has happened. It would be hypothetically Akuko sending in his ult if he'd like to, and that could obviously, if the right kind of chaos is ascending on the site, be very useful. But as we see right now, Kreia is using her ult more likely. Another frag coming in. Great utility combination. But now it's time to find those frags. Moving around the corner. Akuko's trying to get that one going. And Yassine is still on the hunt, but it's not enough.
Beautiful usage of utility. Love it. Love it. The wall that you see from Astra is something that Vipers also use on Haven to just block off A short and A long when you're trying to retake, and it serves the same purpose here, but it's even better. You cannot shoot through it, right? So you have to go through the wall in a really awkward spot when you don't have any cover, when you're in the open for the retake. But also the key pieces here, the Seekers, the As you can see, the Gravity Well, the Seekers, and the Hawk, like the combination of utility, it's so hard to stop this retake when a team is perfectly coordinated like this. Like, it's amazing to see. There's a lot of resources coming into this retake, but it's worth it. You close out a round.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you couldn't have said it any better there. It was just exactly what they need before we saw, you know, Guild taking too much speed, taking too much momentum. And there's the pause we're having. And this pause, you know, could just finally stop NiP firing on all those 5 cylinders. The inline 5 is rocking.
And look at the equipment. Bonkar with the Bulldog, definitely not the perfect scenario.
No.
They don't have a lot of cash. If they're not winning this round, most likely we're gonna see a 3-7 scoreline down to an NiP, and that's a big thing on attack, you know, for Guild. This is not looking good. It's not something that we're expecting to see. So this is, I would say, the most important round so far, apart from the pistol round. For Guild, they have to be smart about this, and let's see what's the utility. Bonkar has the drone, has the Hunter's Fury. If he wants to go for a peek on C, he will have to be a little bit deeper, so his drone will not have that kind of range on the C side because of that Gravity Well counter that we have seen it before, right? So I would say that they still have to like count on that. They would like to have that Hunter's Fury opener. Otherwise, Draken has his ultimate available as well, but I don't think he will use that for info. He will have to use that for an infiltration, right? And I mean, it's kind of looking like a split C attack, but with a lurk from safe on A long. We're gonna have to see how long does he stay there, and in general, what's the initial let's see, what's the gambit opener from Bonkar. Wait, he's standing a little bit further.
Yeah.
Okay,
he's not falling for that anymore.
Did he tag it? He did tag it. There's the Hunter's Fury. Will he get the kill?
That's going to be painful for Chihuahua. Very crucial. And now the momentum might just shift towards the C side. The arrow is coming in. On the minimap, you see Yassine already moving into Garage, or considering to do so, as Rhyme decides to take a step back. They're held up for the moment. They are just still stalling.
Okay, so they didn't go after the initial kill. I was predicting, in my mind at least, that they would just furiously go together on that C-long when the utility was so aggressive. Oh! Nice play by Existence, but didn't pay off. He wanted to try to get that surprise peek, but they were prepared. There's this discipline from Guild on those angles, and this is so important. Right now they have 5 versus 3. They go on A side. There's no way in hell that JD will just hold the side, so they have to play retake. There's a small chance they will do it. They have the Hunter's Fury on their own to try to get at least 1 kill or stop the plant, but I feel like it has to be used to just get a kill. There's a double shock dart on side, but Bonkar is already out. He's not getting damaged. He was also planting a little bit further away from the default plant, so the shock darts wouldn't do that much damage anyway. Will we see a save? Well, most likely, because everyone is already on C.
No, considering that, you know, you see your main fragger down to 47 points of health, and Kriya and JD being the ones, you know, who, I mean, JD specifically, when he plays those support roles, he's still individually so insanely strong. But what I want to say specifically about that, I think that they were just too scared. I could imagine they were somewhat too scared to pick up C when they don't necessarily know to what expect from Kriya, right? They already caught them off guard once, so I could imagine that they thought, you know, just don't fall to simple tricks. Don't fall for those simple ideas. Let's make it a little more complicated. I mean, A side being the second most attacked side by Guild, understandable choice.
Nice recon arrow on a tube. What is that? A Vuvuzela?
Why do you come up with a Vuvuzela now?
I mean, there is a Vuvuzela there, you know? I mean, maybe a different instrument. You can actually make a one-way out of it for a Viper. But here you have this. This is so important. Bonkar with that kill on Cypher just opens up the entire round. And by the way, he kind of got his ADR a little bit higher because he hit the Draken too for the 26 friendly fire damage.
And so again, the mid control seems to be a thing that they're aiming for right now. Safe, very much ready to punish his counterpart, but that ain't happening. Look how much mid control they have gained, and look how hungry they are to find even more, but they rather turn it back, stay back at their own ground, and that's very reasonable. You found the entry, you don't need to hunt that much at that point anymore, and as they do right that, It seems like you've seen that one race main is gonna be beheaded in the process.
Man, what a chaotic round.
Spike down, C.
They leap open garage. This is a little odd to see. And Chihuahua is just not being stopped at all.
This round was a little bit like disjointed from what we have seen in the previous rounds.
Right.
Guild was just going one by one almost everywhere, right? And I especially was surprised by the initial peak in B window, at least, you know, in mid window, because there was an Astra Star placed in it. But I have to say, there's a little bit... Astra is a little bit problematic when it comes to casting, because you see a star being placed in a strategic point, and you're like, oh, an opponent is in this star, and you want to call out, oh, that's gonna be a stun or a pull, and then it becomes a smoke, and you're like, okay, well, I guess I cannot say what it's gonna be because you never know. But it's also an intimidating factor, because we have seen Save just peek into that Astra Star, and he wasn't like, he doesn't know what it's gonna become, you know. But it just became a smoke after he died. But it could have also been used as a stun. I was really surprised by Safe even picking that, because they lost so much utility on the map because of that. And as you know, Haven is, at least in my position, in my opinion, is the most complicated map in the game, even more than Icebox, because of the 3 sides and rotations that are so important when it comes to like taking over map control from your partner when you rotate to different sides, and losing that Cypher utility just costs you a lot of that map control in general.
Whoa. And Chihuahua is not to be stopped. The man is concussed and knows the fault line is coming his way. But look at that movement. Patience could be a good friend of his, but the aim is working as well. And so Chihuahua can escape and finds the entry. And this defensive style is so enjoyable, as though NiP has stopped to challenge the lobby of A, which I find a very reasonable approach, because Guild do that from time to time. They still try to take that mid control, and when it works, it works.
Look at the double setup for A-Shot. Oh, he's being seen easily. And Akuka's a surprise factor as well. Scythe didn't predict that someone will be else standing here. Very, very good setup. A 2-man setup from NiP on that A-Shot. Those small things are so powerful. Like, you don't really need like super complex strategies in most cases. It just a good angle holding like this is good enough to catch your opponents off guard. But I mean, it's still 2 versus 4. It's doable, right? A lot of utility available. There's a paranoia, though. That's the problem. You want to go on the side and you have no paranoia, so you have to be a little bit more confident on your peaks. And it's gonna... Oh,
perfect.
My
Love
God.
it.
The Seekers just brought all the attention from a guild to them, and that was just the easiest double kill of his life for JD.
And the Russian duo is just playing by that book. And, you know, JD, a guy so young, you know, one of his main goals right now at the moment is to move, quote, in a proper city. I guess mainly due to the internet connection. And this is, you know, someone I think who could possibly afford a decent apartment once in a while if he continues to play this proper and strong with NiP. I mean, 17 years old, one of the biggest prodigies within this tournament, and someone to always keep your eyes peeled for. The scoreboard says it all.
4-7. I mean, this is not looking good. Honestly, this is not looking good. And they have bad equipment. Look at the guild. A Bulldog, Frenzy, a second Bulldog, only 2 rifles. Like, let's say, okay, Bulldog is a rifle, but you can argue it's also a very bad weapon. So, this is looking pretty solid for NiP. And look at the amount of knowledge they have right now when it comes to the map. They have mid control, they have C control, they have double doors control. Everything's under control. You can see this is why there are 3 people on A right now.
Very crucial that his teammate takes it out. Rhyme once more staying up there, but that warning shot is clear. You see, though, just can't move out, and that's way too much, way too far he can go. The A side is not going to be the goal, though, for now, as they might just over-rotate. Chihuahua, at the same time, could play a pivotal role in this, as he sees Draken is eliminated, and this opens up the C side big time. But Kreia is still there with Astra, finds the first, more to come, as this low HP is not going to be too helpful. The man is still going to be blind. JD is joining the fight. And as that duo tries, Draken eliminates him. They still gotta do it. This is still gonna be the lurk! That's gonna be missed! It is Sky not finding the shots you would have expected, and it's still more to come. And JD, knock from the back door! It's gonna be totally torn apart.
Wow. Wow, JD was so anxious about that position behind the green box, exactly where the ping is right now. He was certain that Draken is still there. He didn't hear the shadow step, or he heard it, but wasn't certain if it's a fake or not, because it can still happen. But I would say the very important factor of this round was Kriya, who was still holding that side even when blinded, and he was just, you know, taking so much time off Guild when it comes to the plan. Because of that, they were just, like, let's say, assembled in that default spot, and they were off-timed by JD, who took that slow pace, you know, on the backside and got the flank. It was so important. But I have to give it to Guild. That was a valiant effort. They played really well with the inferior weapons. When I said, you know, Bulldog is not a good gun, and then we have seen 2 kills with Bulldog, so it's a little bit awkward. But now let's focus on NiP. They are on attack. This is something that we want to see. NiP on attack has always great executes, but now opening Flash, just Flash Kriya instead of his opponents. But it looks... Look at the Guild though. They are taking control of Ceylon. They will destroy probably the trap, or just Draken will be taking that map control and just waiting for a rotation, because Guild can still battle off NiP on that A, and Draken might just wait for them. But the entire team is creeping up slowly on A short. They lost the entire map control, but so it seems like they're just gonna commit to this, unless Guild will use their utility to stop him from planting. Draken is not pushing on the defense. He's still standing on C-Long now. Everyone is already on the plant. There's the plant going down, but no retake yet.
Yeah, no retake yet, indeed. And Asset brought it down, and funny-wise, no damage has been dealt in the entire process of this. This could be a retake by the book coming in from Yassine and Co. As Boombot goes in first, they all just wait really defensively. You take a look at their positioning. They wait so defensively to just focus on that spike. Just do that. And so, Yassine has started, is going to stop it again, and now the frags need to come in. The Omen smoke should fade anytime soon, and again, it is another concussion. This is where Astra is shining, but still, Guild is trying. Akuko's hardly standing a chance, I would say, and there the defuse is coming in time, and which brings the 5th. 3 seconds.
Honestly, I'm a little bit surprised that it played so deep on A short and long.
True.
I'm a little bit baffled. They had been given the A side for free.
Look at that. And
instead of choosing like to fight for CT control and Haven, they just forgave that. I think maybe they were worried about flashes from the breach. But they can play around that with their own utility as well. They can use the smokes to counter the most typical positions. They can use the stuns and the gravity wells to stop from pushes from CT. So it's kind of odd because they lack the utility to play for a post plant, right? They have no snake bite. They have no Molotov from Brimstone to just put it on the on the spike to delay the defuse. It was a little bit odd, not gonna lie. I would like to see that again, but let's just focus on what's happening here. Sash, you have to fill me up because my fantasy was just driving right now.
No worries. You know, your fantasy is also valuable in this because, you know, this right here could be a fantasy of Guild. That kind of comeback. As right now, they're retaking the side of B. Definitely gonna work right here. Yassine up on the ground, and Akuka's, how does he get that shot? It is the Sheriff working quite well. Not much more to come. I would have been very shocked if that now could have actually been so successful, but look who's coming from the back. It is gonna be Ryan waiting for his time in, but maybe that was not the right timing. Saw that Bonkar is nearby, and so Draken in a horrible spot between a rock and a hard spot, and there it comes. The 9th round for NiP, and it was the conversion that did not work for Guild. Crazy one.
I am flabbergasted.
Understandable.
I don't know what happened exactly. Like, this is like an exaggeration. We have seen what happened. Akukos, with that nuts double kill, opened the entire round, built an equalizer to a 3 versus 3 retake, and this is a great position for the attackers. So, Rhyme with that lurk was also in a great position. He mistimed it a little bit and then started shooting with the sheriff through the smoke, which brought anxiety to me. But so well played by NiP in general. I don't know. Guild just allowed that to happen, to be honest, because they didn't have a lot of map control. But let's focus on the next round. Mid control by NiP. They clear out backside. Because of that, Rhyme just goes in with the double satchels and has to be controlled.
Yeah, pretty much indeed. And you see Nicole now coming from behind, as JD will probably just assist that nobody goes further than that, as though he's a little blind. That spike still does not hit the ground. And, you know, to his left-hand side, suddenly there's somebody else waiting. Can only get one, but too late. And JD is still alive. No clue how this man has not ended in a coffin yet. Finally eliminated. And Leo definitely goes for more. Draken hungry to make that sheriff play, but ain't happening. And one more thing I have to add here, Lovar. The crazy part about the previous round, the conversion round of Guild, is that usually on this map, on the defensive side, they have a second round conversion of 88.2%. That is something I would say a high probability of making that work.
Yeah, you're right. Stats don't lie, right? But take a look at this. This is a good replay. This situation here, miscommunication by Guild.
Yeah.
This is 100% miscommunication by Guild because Bonkar peaked before that fault line affected JD, and because of that, JD was allowed to get a 1v1 fight with Bonkar when JD was still in his utility and had a 750 millisecond equip time. But in the meantime, what?
Spike down mid.
I thought that's a replay. I thought that's a replay. What just happened?
I was very much listening to you, very interested. What does Lothar have to say? It's a replay we're watching, and we got bamboozled.
That was ridiculous. I mean, we're gonna see replay of this round because the entire round was like 6 seconds. So Yasin and Saif just went nuts right on mid. Look at the push.
Oh yeah. All right. Now that's something where I thought we're having a little bit of downtime, and we see one of those NiP pushes in mid, but absolutely wrong. NiP get obliterated in such a round. And, you know, the money is there. They reinvest everything they have. But afterwards, Guild might just broke the kind of momentum we saw of NiP. And, you know, both teams are very interested very often, Lothar, in just taking that aggressive defensive control, which sounds very odd at first, but taking room as defense can pay off.
You know what? I don't like this Guild. They're too fast. I like the Guild that it plays slow, takes their time, because I have time then to discuss what is happening in the game. Right now, they're catching me off guard. I feel like a noob. Because I just want to talk a little bit about tactics, and in the meantime, the round is over. What?
I'm sorry.
But hey, now, I'm not joking, and to be serious about this topic, I really like how Guild is switching up the pace. It's something that we didn't see from them on other maps. Haven, because of that, I feel like Haven is their best map, because they know how to switch that up. They are not that late game team that we see on other maps. And I feel like they have to adapt that style, not only on Haven, but on the other maps in the map pool.
And as right now, Rhyme is trying to find anything that ain't happening, but Kriya is there to assist, and the double comes in, save, though finally chimes, and as though he tries to shine, not much more happened, and the seaside could be under control soon, and talking about it, Chihuahua does what Chihuahua does best, bark loud, and eat them all up. 11-6 for NiP. The ninjas aren't that silent, aren't that sneaky.
Fantastic play by Korea, by the way. That flank was the MVP of this round.
True.
It's not even the fact that, you know, he gets a kill or something, but he distracts other people. And this is the moment where his team can capitalize on that confusion that's happening in the defense line. So they can just go through with their utility. We have seen that on the double doors when a Cypher cage has to be sprayed by Safe, because he had no idea what's happening. He had no time to react. He had to spray with Vandal and pray, and that's the easiest position to be killed from. Sorry.
Right. Safe in the meantime, trying to take a bit more control over there on C-Long. And you know, I think the 2 rounds ago we pretty much saw what NiP seemingly can't handle. Too early aggression. Talking about that they don't do this anymore. You see him tries to go in a bit more aggressive, but that didn't happen. It gets stinged for the wall, and he says, bye-bye, I'm taking the next plane to get home.
Was he seeing that he hides in that spot? I'm not certain, because that was the follow-up of any kind of utility. So he gets a get out of jail free card because of that double satchel, but 56 HP is not a lot and there's no way of healing. You know, they have a composition that has no Sky, has no Sage, and even Reyna, right? Because that's the third heal in the game. So that 56 HP has to be what he will have to work with in this round. And there's a huge stack on that C. Guild is ready for that, but look what's happening. There was a fake. Now 4 people on C still standing there. Rotations are coming in, and NiP are faster than NiP. Sorry, NiP is faster than Guild. I don't think so. They're still checking corners. Will it be a double fake? Oh, they're too late. There are 3 players next to A,
and look what's coming.
Thunder stops them.
Yeah, that's gonna be nasty, and NiP still trying, but Bonka's there, and he definitely finds all that is needed, and still that spike needs to hit the ground. Is he gonna make it in time? I very much think he does. That could be Chihuahua trying to find that number 12, and he does at least get them in the right direction, but it's still the man called Safe, who previously has been a young prodigy in the Nordic states when it comes to CS, now under the leadership of Barbara once more, trying to see what he can do. Right and left he has to check. Right and left he cannot check, and so number 12.
There's no way that you can clear those both angles without any piece of utility used. So this is like a death sentence, but he had to go for it because, you know, 6-11, you cannot allow your opponents to be at match point. But one thing I wanted to point out, I really like the way that they use the Astra's wall for a fake. Bonker also did really impactful double kill. He is showing up in this game. But an Astra ultimate, it can be even used to a further extent to fake those situations, because you can, you know, here we have seen C-side being split in half left and right, but you can actually just like split it in front and back, where your opponents don't know what's happening at all, and it's even better for fakes, so they could use that even to just go to A side, and it also muffles the footsteps on A short because of that. So there's still a lot of room to improve when it comes to Astra usage, and I would love to see this, you know, this wall being used in a little bit a different way when it comes to faking those attacks. Or unless, you know, they really wanted to go there, but then they see 3 people and they're like, okay, let's go back. You know, because that can also happen.
Scanning ahead.
Wow, Yassine dying so early in the round, that is a really big problem for Guild right now. They lost a lot of firepower. Bonker has to show up with that Bulldog. Will he show up? He's being caught off guard with that weird angle by Rhyme. Satchels are just so cool when it comes to that. And this, remember, we're playing on a patch where Bucky is good, but he's not good enough to win a round. Puts you up in the momentum and builds up like the economy. It's so important. But like, let's look at NiP. They go for the charge control because they're gonna go for the orbs as well, but probably not in the pistol round. Never mind. There it is. A little bit greedy, but they have the control. Now they go back, building up that ultimate for Akukos, which is important of creating space on site. Scythe with the frenzy, holding a very close angle, and he's playing Killjoy this time on A. So a small switch up for the usual way of playing. And look at B. It's very much open, but Draken is taking a lot of map control. This is so important. Because of that, Yassine is able to already go to A, and now they have a 4 stack on that side. So a very big task ahead of NiP to get into it.
They very much do. Ryan finds the first, and Kreia just joins the party as Leo proves how valuable Phoenix is. And as Draken has the flank, that one is down, and with ease, they have a bit more control over this one. Chihuahua, together with his teammate JD, trying to make anything work here, and the Russian duo, I very much doubt that this is going to work that well. The wall has been built, the barricade is now fully up there, and he's like, come on, Leo, please peek for me, but for now, it doesn't seem to happen. That round should very much go in favor of Guild, except we see a stellar performance by both. Info Dart comes in here. They definitely want more. They know about the one in Lamps, but the other one to the right, Yassine snacks them all.
Yeah, and it was a tough task. They were both stuck in showers when the spike was being left at A short. but they were coming way too late into that A side when there was already enough info gathered by Guild, by Draken. He was the crucial point of this round to gather the map control, to get that lurk, and to allow Yassine to just rotate in time and stop the entire push by NiP with his utility and just presence. So very well played by Guild so far, and something that I actually mentioned in the pre-match, right? They have to play aggressively, so they taking the map control aggressively, and they won the pistol round because of that. Now Save is holding this Showers with his Nano Swarm and just pushed out, something that we're gonna see often by NiP being done. So Existence and Kriya pushing the Showers for the op control, but this will gonna be fought off by Scythe probably every single round.
True. And it, that Hawk is actually missing Save, just passes him entirely. Here comes the refrac, and remember how strong the side of NiP can be when it comes down to those usual easy conversions. They like to rub it into the face of Guild, very much indeed. But a passive, I mean, a surprisingly passive approach, I have to admit here from Guild. Really not any kind of control they want to take as a defense right now. Yassine might just find his first, and there it goes. Second one, not granted.
Well, just for the chat, this is 2.5, not 2.6 patch or 06. So the Bucky is still pretty strong, I would say. And you want to avoid positions like hookah,
30 seconds
B
left.
window, showers when someone has that gun. Oh wow!
I'm talking about it. That little gun, huh? There you go. It is. That Sheriff finding another one into the hands of JD. And there is a conversion again, seemingly off. As JD tries to bang!
No way!
This man is just on fire! Could someone take the Sheriff out of his hands, please? Because it seems like he kicks out the deputy, but Bonkar is still there. He wants to leave his mark over on that side of B, but they make the sandwich and knock from behind! It is Chihuahua missing! This is odd, this is unusual, but Chihuahua is not going to be the savior of this. It's JD who's taking that round.
What a round by JD. He hit 3 headshots with a Sheriff to get 2 kills, and 2 of those were through the tube. Insane, but Bonkar hitting the double headshot, and Hookah also opened the chances at this clutch. Unfortunately, he ran out of bullets, and that was the problem. He had been mistimed because of that reload. He didn't have the time to switch to the pistol and kill JD, but an insanely big round for NiP. Like, getting that round when it's the most valuable, you put your opponents on a terrible spot when it comes to economy. You're winning on... Okay, that was unexpected. Who pushes a molly like that, right? What
right.
Is this?
I'm not quite sure if he really noticed that it is a molly because his vision was a little obstructed. At the same time, you got ears, which usually tell you that. An insane round once more, you know, looking back at it. Salient performance. Really, this man is just making a name for himself here, JD. But
yeah.
In the meantime, hookah control they want to take, and I'm not quite sure if Rhyme is really going to survive it. Nope, ain't gonna happen.
Yeah, a lazy check by Rhyme, and he paid the highest price with that. Now that was being hurt. Bonker jumping down. He's not being flashed. They might know he's in the smoke because of that. The Tasmanian Tiger will check his position, but missed. But he was in the angle from Chihuahua. A lot of bullets had to be fired to get him, but finally he's dead. And now Yassine with the deadly Bucky. Here we go. 160 to the dome.
Gone here.
Oh, I'm surprised he didn't kill that guy in hookah as well.
Why not try to improve the range there? Either way, it is somewhat dangerous. Still it is. Leo is moving out, and that must have been communicated. Just wanted to say that. Akukas nearly struggling, tries to pick up another weapon.
Oh my
Yassine it is! Yassine it is! It could be more to come. Puts the nade in, and so Kriya might just suffer big time damage as he starts to deal with it. Puts his ult out, halves it, and that could be crucial. He keeps on sticking. The man keeps on working! He got balls of steel, and he proves that he's so crucial! No
What is Kriya doing? What is Kriya doing? I don't understand. Kriya sees that the spike spike is being defused. There's literally a visual cue of this spike being defused. So even when you don't see your opponent, you know that it's being defused. But Yassine with the absolute most insane clutch I have ever seen. And this play here, popping the showstopper, the moment he's also starting to defuse will bring a lot of confusion.
This is ridiculous.
And this is why we didn't see the initial peak. But just, oh my god, I don't know. I don't know. No words.
I mean, if you don't see this in the next random YouTube video saying 200 IQ plays, quote me. Absurd. I mean, I'm still speechless till this day. I didn't believe it. I genuinely didn't believe that we would see something like that happen, but oh wow. But I mean, we're just 3 rounds in. It doesn't have to mean a big thing to say it like that.
Well, when it comes to morale,
It's true. That's an aspect. But
you are crushed. The NiP is just feeling like that should never happen.
way. No.
This is like a 1 in 1,000, you know, round. Like when it comes to like odds, no one will bet on this. He had 28 HP.
One enemy remaining.
There you go. Pretty much cleaning it up. Guild only leaving a Kukos on the battlefield. Man who initially died in that clutch, whiffing a few shots, you have to say, because it was real funny that Yassine picked up the gun and he still didn't die there. And then he had the Vandal in his hands. Then he still did the kill. It's absurd. It really... And for me, the question I also have to raise when we can quickly talk about this again here, Lothar. Did the second peak of the player in hookah, was that really mandatory? Because they could have just played it off and said, you know, we're not going to peek you, try defusing. One play could have even went long.
There was so many different, you know, plays that he could have done, but I feel like the confidence was there. The play was, oh, he's only 28 HP, let's just kill him.
No way.
You know, and then we have seen the whiff from a Kukos when Yassine was actually picking up a gun. He wasn't even shooting, you know, and that was the biggest problem. Then the confidence built up on Yassine. He just went for the kills. He got a refresh on the paint shows, zoned out the hookah because of that. The showstopper was there. Everything lined up perfectly for him.
Yeah.
But yeah, but tactical pause right now. Let's take a look at the setup from Guild. Killjoy is still on A. I really like this change of positioning. You typically see her on B, but A is the, let's say, tougher side to control initially, while easier to retake. So it's way easier to just fight with 2 people there because of that aspect. While B is exactly the opposite. It's harder to play retake on it, but easier to control when you have more forces on it. So this is why I like the split, the 3-2 split on BA from Guild right now.
Right. And so, NiP, after they had their tactical timeout, hopefully they really recovered from that mentally, because otherwise I would be very worried. Attack on the A side is going to be, and one astute execute that is now coming in for the roster. They have taken a lot of ground toward B already, but Bonkar is ready to put his ult down, and that is gonna be a lot of damage dealt in case they can deny it. Yeah, very good. Use the first ult. Draken is denying the first one. Bonkar's coming in as well, but he has to gamble. Still does not put it down, and the sky is opened up a little too late, as though that retake seems to work so brilliantly. JD together with Chihuahua once more. The Russian duo, whoops, have to bring it back. Oh, the wall horribly placed. Draken is gonna be the one who continues to fuse it, but it's not working there, Lothar.
And yeah, small missteps here, and I feel like the plan for Bonkar was again completely different than I thought it would be. I thought it would be used in the same manner as Draken did use his Hunter's Fury for, so for dealing the plant, right? But it was actually used to cut off the fallback after the initial plant. So they get the plant, and then Bonkar goes for lamp control with his ult, which pushes out everyone on site in the open. So this is actually very, very nicely done. See, look at this. Yep. See? They're both trapped on site because of that ultimate, and they are being off-timed, and the spacing there is just not there for the defense, you know, on the after plant. So very well played by Bonkar, and completely different what you would expect him to play.
Absolutely. And when we talk about that, and when we specifically talk right now about, you know, Guild on the defensive side, I genuinely have my doubts to be frank, when coming into this, especially after what we've seen on Haven, it's going to be this astute from start on, this well thought through. No disrespect to Guild, don't get me wrong, but it seemed like NiP had the slight edge over it. Either way, a very nice usage of taking back the start.
That's something that we're gonna see more and more often.
Absolutely.
Look at even create like an entire passage of 5 smokes with that, because you can fake 3 and just use 2 real ones.
In
the meantime, JD, the MVP of the previous map, also the MVP on the second round of this dies with the first death of the round. A big problem for NiP now. They're losing the Sage, they have no heals. Actually, what I'm talking about, there's a Sky. They have heals for days in this composition as well. Scythe with the really cool kill on Kriya when Kriya's busy with the turret. Nice off angle by him.
Right. And, you know, they could pretty much open up a private hospital, but it doesn't help them if all the guys are in buddy bags. Kukos as well as Rhyme will try the best to make anything work, but how unfortunate. Both don't go down, and therefore no chance for poor Rhyme. 5-1 it is for Guild in, you know, a stage that I wouldn't have expected that it goes that way that easily. Impressive stuff so far we see from them, impressive work they have done. And take a look at that. I mean, how unfortunate can you get? You hate it.
Right. It has a lot of HP, you know, and you have a sheriff, so you have to use a half of your clip when you're actually hitting the boom bot. So it is a demise of those slow guns like sheriff.
Satchel out.
All right, well, wait, who's that? That's Yasin. Not really surprised. Yeah, off the leash, but 1 for 1. And this is something I really hate from Yasin. He does that a lot, and he did that on Split when I was so critical of it. He knows that JD has a res. If he wants to be effective on this play, he needs to kill 2. If he gets a 1 kill, he puts his team at a disadvantage. And now Guild will probably pay the price because they have 4 versus 5 on defense.
Right. In the same time, you know, beautiful stuff. The awareness of NiP is just on point. The first flash coming in, Scythe is like, man, how many freaking birds does he have? Is he a pet shop or something? As in the meantime, Leo's gonna peek
from Leo.
Very smart move. Rhyme is still finding him, but Safe is just waiting for his teammate. Escapes at the right kind of time, and the smoke will not allow him, or more likely not allow JD to find anymore. And so NiP only down to 2 players, but Kriya is still there to fight. Can't find enough for the moment. The spike could be very much grabbed. I'm not quite sure if they saw where the spike is. I very much believe they must have seen it.
Yeah, for
30
sure.
seconds left.
But they just want to play as a retake, which is a good decision. They have the info. There's only 20 seconds left. He can go for the teleport to A. He still has enough time.
Standing ahead.
But yeah, he goes for it. He needs to run. He has time. He has info that the killjoy was on B because of the turret being active, right? But he doesn't know about Draken. He has no idea where he is, and he's gonna get killed from his left side. Oh wait, what? Why do we see the ultimate from Safe? That's some miscommunication right here.
Seemingly. Yeah, it would have seemed like that could have been a safe one. Keep it in the bag, but ain't happening.
Yeah. So the play from Yasin, I don't like it. I really don't. It's putting his team at a disadvantage in my opinion. But he was bailed out by a very good map control by his team because of that push on A short and the info that they actually repaying. You know, they retaliate on A short. Save was able to get the control of B long, and a very nice play by Leo when he peeked inside of the paint shell, allowed them to get a double kill there and basically win the round by that.
I can't be really mad at him due to the fact that he was maybe thinking about double kill or getting the Sage in the process, which then could have paid off. But I see your point, Lofar. It's understandable where you're coming from.
Well, you know, as a player that likes to play the odds,
I understand.
You are doing a very high risk, low reward play in this case. It's something that Yasin does a lot, and because of that, he's one of those guys that actually wins a lot of rounds, right? You don't expect him to do stuff like that, but he also loses a lot of rounds because of that, because sometimes you just put your team at a disadvantage.
I see.
He's just so unpredictable and aggressive. So he's very entertaining to watch. So I like him. I like about that. You know, I like him about that.
Got your trail.
Very understandable. Leo right now shows why Phoenix could be so pivotal in the future. That is his flash being put to use, and one of the biggest fragging individuals of NiP's out. Rhyme eliminated, and Yassine says, "Knock, knock. Thank you very much for the spike, but I ain't getting much more than that." It's still big pressure build up in a round that looked workable. Korea chimes in as well, and it is a 3v3 when it seemed like NiP have found way more frags. Chihuahua still got to stick to the plan, and it is Draken again flanking. It is Draken again shining, and it is Korea on his own. Seems like the odds are totally against him, and the miracle of finding a second round. Close that chapter. That story is written off.
Guild really well played around the Astra's Cosmic Divide. That's something I really liked from them. Everyone here played creatively. Yassine, with his signature aggression on the truck, was able to stop the plant. Look at this. This is so well timed. He could even stay on the truck, but he wasn't certain about it. I feel like the Astra's wall here was a little bit misplaced and allowed Guild to do that. So, as I said, Astra, very complicated champion to play, and there has to be a lot of planning. I feel like there have to be set plays when it comes to Astra's the Cosmic Divide, so your team can align on which angles they have to hold, and this is gonna take a while for teams to be very effective at. Right now, there are teams who are less prepared to counterplay the Astra's wall, and teams who are more creative at doing that, and Guild is currently showing themselves as the one that are creative enough to counter the walls from Astra.
I very much have to say, this is an amazing bit to watch here from Guild. Really, I have to be very genuine that I enjoy seeing them mentally just accepting what happened there on the previous map. You know, it was their choice, but it still didn't work. It is just the way it is. And suddenly, this is pure domination so far. And NiP, having one of the most experienced IGLs, a man who has played majors, a man who has, you know, played so many years in the best French teams, seemingly they don't come up with any idea to adapt right now for the moment. It doesn't mean that, you know, something is big wrong, but they just don't find the adaptation right now.
Yeah, it's looking good for NiP, man. It's there's no build up on economy. They're struggling to do that. Their ult economy is also in shambles, right? You can see right now they have nothing ready for the next round. So on a full buy round, they have no support with that, and even with a one orbit, they cannot get it. So the next round will still be a huge challenge, while Guild has so much economy.
Yeah, and as Akukos tries, I doubt that this man is going to put the cape on and play Superman. Ain't happening. And a thing that I really have to point out here real quick, Lofar, is I still, you know, see somewhat of a good chance if NiP go close to like 4 rounds, if they now just really say, okay, we have to do this and that. This is the change in our game plan. This is where we have to open up page 703 of our well-created strat book, because the thing is, they have a 63.5% defensive win rate on Bind. And this is something which you also have to right now put in mind. It is their old lineup, maybe. It is their old kind of composition. Still, it speaks for itself a little bit.
I mean, NiP current stats: 53% win percentage of Bind attack rounds, while Bind defense though 66%.
Right.
So they're actually very, very, very effective on defense on Bind, which is the only map they have in green, because every other map is in the red, below 50%. But still, they have to get more rounds. Bind is defender based for sure, for most teams at least. But this is gonna be a struggle if they're not gonna have those 4 rounds. And right now, Akukos has to get that one orb, and he's trying to get it. He got it. He actually got it in showers. He will use the ult for a fake, but this is not something that Guild will fall into. And they're still stacking B. 3 people here. Rotation coming from Leo as well. This is so well done by Guild. I love it.
Oh, no way. And for now, I'm just waiting actually for Astra to do the work. As I say that, good night, Yassine and Bonkar. Safe is joining the party, and for sure, it could be more coming out of that Swedish duo.
30 seconds
But
left.
those Vikings have to now fight with swords and shields. It has a lot they have to right now bring to the table to take them down. Talking about it, Rhyme is joining the party. Kukos is ending it. Here's the second round, and this is what NiP definitely looked forward to.
Yeah, so I was, in my mind, this round was being painted in a very different way. You know, Guild was stacking B. They had 3 players there already. Leo was joining them, so they had almost 4 people ready for that defense. But then, unfortunately, we didn't see exactly the angles. But JD and who was that? JD and I think Rhyme suddenly got a double kill, and one was through the wall. So they opened up the site because of those at least one miracle kill, and basically flipped the entire round on its head, which is very well played by NiP. But this is the they're relying on getting some wall banks, right? And this is not consistent enough. So they're not being outplayed on positioning. Sorry, they're being outplayed on positions and rotations. And we'll see how that will go in the next round. Chihuahua with the drone, no follow-up of any utility. After that, Rhyme has a showstopper, and he's currently still very far away to get that initiation and create space on the side. So this is going to be problematic for NiP. They have 2 flashes available. The Tiger will clear a lot of corners, actually gets a lot of information, so they can be more aggressive. That's the showstopper coming in, but no satchels. He's just going in on foot. He gets he gets just tagged and tagged. He created the space, but no damage done.
I mean, he created the space. This is something that, you know, can be criticized that he didn't find the kill, but, you know, such an ability, such an ult that is just kill heavy. On the other side, a lot of room, and man, oh man, this had paid off for a free plant, which hopefully they don't have the nightmare again with Yasin. But they killed him early, so no worries. Chihuahua taking down the flank of Safe, and this should now be a little bit more safe, as they right now fortify the castle. The walls have been put up, and Draken still trying to take that one down, still trying to destroy the walls they have now built as they try to enter it. It is surely going to be more difficult. Draken eliminates in the process. Leo is nuts! Oh, and Rhyme just wants it. Rhyme just hides, and this is the best thing he can do. Surely there's no time, but big casualties and a wonderful 3K from Leo.
A valiant effort, but not enough time for that defuse, and no time to use the ult as well. What I wanted to point out is that Rhyme basically was a run it back with a rocket in this field, right? He was just going in. Intimidation in the process was being just made against Guild. They all forgave the map control because of that. But when you do that, there's like, you know, you can still be killed, but everyone's just so afraid to contest you. So it was very well played to gather that space, and it allowed them to get that plant. So very well played by Ryan, but it was a Hail Mary. You know, he has no satchels, he cannot go aggressive, he has to just basically go in and hope that someone will try to peek him and then get a rocket off, or just get the plant for free. It's like a combination of run the back and killjoy ult in this case.
Well, par excellence, you could pretty much say about that, because it was just played par excellence really at the end here by Leo. You know, you're pointing out that it was to run it back. I fully agree on that. Yet at the end of the day, it's still not a run it back. That the minimum risk you have, and you know, you talked about risks and evaluation and numbers earlier. The minimum risk you have is still, I think, a bit problematic in it. As now, in the meantime, Showers will be always the battlefield in the first 15 seconds, but this time Rhyme takes the ground for itself.
Leo has the run back available where he is going. Oh wow, Draken with the operator. That's not something you see often from him here on this map, but they build up the economy. Bonker on the kill. It's Scythe with the second one. Oh, they're crushing an NiP right now.
That's not going to work that well. That's not going to work that well at all, especially... I would be really mad if they don't have that kind of flank right now on the radar, because it happened 7,000 times already in this match. At least that is what it feels like. Kukos hopes that anyone finally just swings too wide. Well, here they go. They're accepting. Okay, the A side seems clear. Put in that little Tasmanian Tiger in. And now they are waiting.
They are faking it. Kukos was still standing in the middle of the window in a smoke, and he was trying to convince Guild that they're going B, but this is taking too long. Now Guild is just like playing retake basically on essentially both sides. Yasin finds a frag from Haven on A shot, and that is terrible. I don't know where that goes, but Scythe with a knife out, completely unprepared, allows to get a plan for NiP, and this is... There's a chance. There's a small chance for NiP.
Agreed. But now it's time to Kukos to find anything in the smoke. Chihuahua has to move out, and look at them. They are aware, but he joins in, and so suddenly he's just moving around the smoke. He still is alive, but it's not enough. Leo knows where to look at, and as they played a little bit of hide and seek, they finally found what it's looking for. I mean, you know, we're getting the next half, but, you know, quickly find a different weapon. 3-9 and pistol rounds we have mentioned. That could be a key factor
Switching sides.
right here for NiP.
Really not the way I was predicting this this map to go. Honestly, like the composition from NiP is just so good in attack.
Yes.
Player standing.
But it seems like the Guild just found the way they have to play to beat that playstyle, and I really like the approach that they do. They were on point when it comes to rotations. They were on point when it comes to map control, using Leo and Scythe to full extent when it comes to taking those crucial points of the map. So now let's take a look at the pistol round, because now this is completely different. They are, let's see, what's the initial setup? 3 guys on market, Boombot most likely being used on Hookah. No, never mind. Yasin goes back, so they have 3 people on long waiting, playing anti-flash, so no info is being given. The same goes for the recon arrow. Interesting combination of both.
So it was just brought to us, so no worries, guys. Don't worry too much about it. Here we are back. Well, it's reality. It was just, you know, all pretty much visualized right there.
In the Valorant Matrix.
Yeah, exactly.
Where's the cat?
Suddenly, well, talking about it, Akukos finds a frag on Yasin, but the refrag on Hookah is immediate. But it looks to me, Lothar, that this is more likely to be one of those last 30-second kind of attacks.
Yeah, the Guild special. That's what I like to call it, you know? They're gonna plan when they're gonna have 4.5 seconds left.
30
Why not?
seconds left.
There's a teleport coming from Leo. Now he goes for showers. But he actually, no, he is actually joining the entire team, which is 3 people. On A short, they're being slowed down. They have to jump over it. Good control. JD is peeking. He kills someone that he wasn't aiming at. Then the teleport goes in. Yeah, let's go. 10 seconds left. He's dead in the hookah anyway. No plan.
A funny story is all of that Guild usually is a team that in pistol rounds, first of all, only ends up on the B side, first of all. And second of all, when they do that, they most likely have their biggest success to plant in the first 30 seconds. Then they usually do it very late in the round, but most likely they get an entry before they plant in the first 30 seconds over on the B side. That obviously didn't work. And NiP is back alive, talking about pistols, and here you go.
Yeah, this is such an important round. I cannot even, like, you know, say how important it is, because it is very important, so I can say it. So in general, this keeps them alive in this game, but they have to convert this eco round to be successful, and Yasin is being tagged by the grenade. Yasin actually with the small shields instead of a gun, which I like. Believing in that classic, you know. Chihuahua spraying through the smoke, not getting a kill, but Akukos gets attacked. Everyone is low on the HP from Guild. Oh wow, you see with the triple on Rhyme. Oh, Rhyme is upset, let's say like that.
Yeah, I would be upset as well. You know, you're trying your best to deny them any X's, and Yasin says classic goes brr, but in this case, that triplet. Disgusting. B-side left open, and the rotation from NiP is coming in fairly fast.
You have 28 HP. Not really a lot. It's not looking good for Guild yet. They have 4 people alive, but the combination of the HP gives them 2 players alive. So they have to hit those first shots. Yeah. Scythe, with this Sheriff, has to... Ooh, that was a big of a forward replay. Scythe has to hit a headshot here to get a kill, but the problem is everyone has big shields apart from Akukos, and now Korea kills Yasin. That was the player with 70 HP. Actually, no, 36 or something. Leo goes through on this side, gets killed.
Nasty.
10 seconds left.
But Dragon with the Spectre, he's still opening the side. 7 seconds left.
Chance.
They need to plant.
That's
Only
not
one
allowed to
player
happen.
available.
Remaining.
Oh, that's too much. No, he's still getting that one down. Crazy stuff. And that's
Well-
good money. That's good money, Alofa, they're getting.
This is a good round for Guild, definitely. They killed 2 players with guns, right? Akukos and Kriya lost their armor at their shields. They have to rebuy that. So there's 4 big shields and 2 guns have to be rebought. And this will be a lot less powerful round for the bonus.
Yeah, true.
So we'll see how that goes. If I'm not mistaken, Guild... Yeah, everyone has full utility apart from Leo. He's playing with 25 armor, but that's about it. Everyone else is fully equipped. And Rhyme, only with the Sheriff. Not even Bucky.
No, man, serious. Man is very serious, and I mean, he's really pretty much barking at him. You're not getting any further. Chihuahua then does the rest of the job, and don't let this young lad off the leash. Put the collar back onto him, because again, winning condition on the previous map pretty much have been Chihuahua in combination with JD. Both have not been that active so far on this map.
That is true. Ooh. There's a lot of utility being used on that Sage Wall. I like, by the way, satchels on the Sage Wall that deal so much damage. Before the nerf, they were even better at it. You could just instantly destroy it. It was so powerful. And by the way, the Sage Wall was even better back then, so... If someone would ask how Raze was built before, I would say she was completely OP. She was so OP in the release time. She had 2 grenades, they dealt more damage, satchels dealt 75 damage, did cost 100, and the showstopper was 6 charges. But anyway, Akukos goes in with the Tiger, sees 2.
Good info.
Good info, yeah.
I'm very convinced he must have seen the spike. I'm not quite sure how short-sighted his little Tasmanian tiger is, but I would have said they must have seen the spike. And so the utility comes in. The Knight movement speed and 20 seconds. This is not CS from 2015 in the CIS region. Nope, this is Valorant in 2021. And Akukos and co are just waiting that one out until the plant comes in. JD though falls, and this allows him to get the spike down. Yassine is on a hunt. The man once more. The triple is already in the back and says, hello, how are you doing? The quad is in the back. And the ace, or more likely the 6k, he might be hunting for. As we just know, if there is a Raze main in this world, the name must be Yassine, as somehow they still find 1 frag at least on the site, but I doubt that they will continue. And so, as we see right there, bye-bye to the B site, heading out. We leave it to you, lads.
It's a decent round for NiP. They got 2 kills, they saved 2 Vandals, so I would say it's okay. They still have to win the next round, but it puts Guild into 2 digits when it comes to the rounds 1. So it's a comfortable spot for Guild to be in, and they are not being put in an uncomfortable position when it comes to the economy. If they would have lost 3 people, I would say yes, this is a very good round for NiP. Here, they still have to prove NiP has an uphill battle for now. Let's take a look at the economy for now.
Right. There is actually one thing I wanted to mention, Lothar, a few rounds ago, and I think you'll find that very interesting. What I wanted to mention is NiP is going to have a tough time when Guild enters a site and take it, because statistically speaking, the retake potential and the retake, winning rate, both on A, 34%, both on B, 42%, is obviously in the red.
Oh my god, Kriya with the overpeak, he actually used his fake smoke and paid the price for that. This is a big blunder, and now Leo doesn't even have to use run it back to get information. He goes for it anyway.
And until they enter it, the B site seems to belong now to Guild. And here, this is what I just mentioned. The retake capabilities are just not that much on point when it comes to NiP. They just seemingly don't really get a grip when it comes down to conquering back a ground that once belonged to them. Talking about it, Yassine at it again. But it seems like Rhyme is now hungry. Here comes a little satchel. There's more to come. Rhyme, though, eliminated. And Akukos, where is he checking is the question. They don't necessarily have him on the radar, but it doesn't change the matter of fact that man is down to 33 points of health, and that little bot says hello. 10 points of health left, and so might be just time to sign off, because I have my doubts there's much more to come. And there you see, saving the Vandal, saving the little cute Tasmanian tiger,
Yeah, this is pretty tough. I feel like the problem here was that Korea was just over peaking long B and paid the price.
Yeah.
That just allowed Guild for 3 map control. I don't feel like that Leo's run back was even impactful in that case. You know, they got the early kill. They could have just brute forced away on site. But he still cleared the entire elbow. And from that point, NiP plays scared. As mentioned, the utility is just not there. They have to wait for the recon arrow and the drone to come in, but that is way too late because the rotations are, you know, they have to be more certain that they're actually attacking the site. And this is problematic. This is really problematic. I feel like maybe they should switch up the setups, because obviously something on B side doesn't work that well. Maybe that Sage will be more needed on B to stop the pushes. But in the meantime, now we have the round where NiP is heavily under-equipped. 3 Spectres.
Oh, that's not looking too good. Yep, Rhyme's out. And the A side aggression is once more working for the boys. The room has been taken. They're swift, fast, and lethal. NiP are just standing there, shrugging, asking themselves, what in God's name are we supposed to do against that? Surely equipment is an issue in that. But 12-5. 12-5, it is most likely going to be. And I think you're not a crazy man, you're not a maniac if you would right now call that we might just see ourselves back on split, as though Korea tries to deny. You know, sticking to it. You still want to see some more. You still want to see some more action, but the timer's ticking. He's definitely trying, would have his ult, but I doubt that there's much more coming in. Vulnerable he is. Still finds that kill. Nasty man. But that's pretty much it. Akuko's trying. And the 12th one is now definitely sure so far.
Yeah, he still gets a kill, but this is like non-impact kills. Your opponents have so much utility, so much economy, that if they die or not, it really doesn't matter. It actually gives 2 orbs to his opponents instead of just 1 if they get a kill on him. Right. So I'm certain how exactly the ult economy was looking before, but Bunker now has his orbital strike. I'm a little bit surprised that Akuko's peak together to get like a crossfire with his teammate with Korea picking from labs, because there was a slight chance of actually retaking the side if he would have done that and saved Korea from the instant death otherwise. Right. So it's still very tough. Like 5-12, like there's a here, right? This is almost not doable. There has to be a Hail Mary play from NiP, and they are again even worse equipment. They have even worse equipment than before. Oh, so many ults happening, so many positions being lost. Rhyme gets a little bit off the ground and gets a kill on Drake, and you see him gets the trade. JD standing in the mall, he gets so much damage. Korea creeping up on short, but this is way too late. It is. So much time is being lost.
Absolutely. I don't see it happening here, Lofar. Korea just taken out of the process as he tries to flank. Adam Wall's gonna be nice. JD's taking it. He's not caring. He's not caring. He tries to pull through, but ain't happening. 13-5 for Guild.
Be faking that attack probably very fast, right? He's gonna use his utility. No, actually, he's just waiting out the smoke. Yeah, I was hoping he was gonna be faking that mid. That A lobby push, but in the meantime, NiP is taking aggressive control on mid. They didn't see anyone. Nothing is happening on A as well. So they have a very weird rotation. What is happening here? Astra in this spawn? Just waiting, I guess?
What is happening here?
I'm not certain. I think this we might having a remake here or something. Someone crashed probably. Because everyone is just right now in spawn. So yeah. No, it's gonna happen, right? It is happening. Yeah.
No, it's not a lie. It's not. Don't worry.
No, I took the blue pill. Wait.
Great to hear. I imagine you enjoyed tonight. But talking about that, don't be worried. Don't be shocked. It's all gonna be good. We're gonna be back to normal in just a second. In the meantime, we're definitely gonna bring you the action anyway, as Rhyme is right now trying to take a little bit more towards the middle, as we see JD finding Bonkar, but they're just cleaning up. It seems like his janitor service here on NiP. It's time to bring him out. So, with ease, second round found.
And look at JD's ult right now. He's 6 out of 7. When it's round 2, it's actually very impactful. because now JD will be able to have his res 100% available for the full buy round after the bonus round, which essentially puts them at a very advantageous position on defense.
Yeah.
But kind of doesn't allow them to play aggressively with the Sage, right? Which is something that we have seen in the past 2 rounds. But in general, they're being put in a very good position, but there's no next defense rounds. Astra with the pull early on the A lobby. A lot of people were there, then suddenly you're not. We're trying to catch up.
Yeah, and so, as we see right there, it's going to be nothing else than the second round, pardon, the third round, that could go in favor of NiP. As you've seen, has already fallen. You see that right now, that trade in the bonus round we mentioned could be somewhat beneficial. And here it goes. The third one is back. Kukos is on the server.
And it's actually on the bonus round, which is even more impactful, because now they have a 5v4 and JD can still build up the next ultimate in the next round. So this is looking pretty good for NiP for that retake. There's still no plan. But Draken finds the kill.
Yeah, and that spike is hitting the ground for sure. Korea
Spike planted.
is considering to come around right now, but it seems like he must have had some sort of awareness where 2 of them at least are waiting. A little look on the minimap tells us what's up, and as for now, that cam is so crucial. The cam could make a difference, but is he going to spot Korea early on is the question. Kukos and Cole must now enter the site. Cam's out. Fault line doesn't help the process, and Korea tries to enter the site, but no ground conquered. Kukos with nothing else than actually the faults, pardon, the fire coming behind it. Draken is trying his best to take down JD, but for the moment, it seems like only Rhyme survives, and Rhyme is the man who wants to deal damage. Does so. I mean, hurts the economy, but that's it.
Well, they might actually get 1 more kill with a spike. Probably not. It's a guessing game right now. But
No worries.
it wasn't as effective as I hoped it would be. Oh my, they actually died both. What?
That's what you get from your guessing game. So far.
Well, I guess right. You know, the price is right. And they lost everyone on this attack. So now, NiP, even though they have 2 small shields and a bulldog, they're still looking pretty good because Guild is looking at a very expensive round right now. Rhyme with his showstopper could put a dent in any attack. Wow, he just went nuts. Well, even without the showstopper, he just double satchelled in with a bonkers flash on mid, and that's about it. So he gained a lot of space, but now he's going back on mid, and they lose that space again. For Guild though, it's a guessing game. Is it still here? Is it not here? Did he win back? Maybe he's still standing on the frog. Maybe he took kitchen and he's making ramen soup. Who knows?
Ramen soup. Very good one. I'm not quite sure who's having the tougher time with the guessing game. You or Guild.
I mean, they have to check all angles. This is something that it's actually a very big problem for Guild, because they play so slow on the tag on split, right? This is the Guild special, and because of the initial map control from Rhyme, they lost even more time because of that. Look at the timer, 40 seconds. They're still not really pushing so much, right? They just destroyed the trap in vents. 30 seconds 30 seconds
30 seconds
left for them. 29. They have to go most likely to A, and now NiP will be ready for that. He still have the stars, right? Does he?
Yeah, seems so. And Korea, with the double, but not the triple secure it. He just definitely stalled it. In 15 seconds again, it's going to be one of those slow games, and I'm going to tell you a funny story in a second, but in the meantime, it seems like that night might work according to plan. Still tries to make it with the Aftershock, and as you see, Yassine, if there's a man you want to clutch, he's the man you definitely got to call for that. And as he tries to make a move around, now it's going to be punished. And this, still Lofar, is where I can come in with the knowledge that I have gained in another title. There is a team, back when Barbara was actively playing in CS, when they were doing executes, it was always the last 30 seconds, the last 20 seconds when they were doing executes, back even in CS. So I think, maybe it's a little bit of the Barbar spice added to the executes here of Guild.
Well, it is a little bit, predictable because of that, right? And honestly, I'm a little bit surprised that Kukos didn't use his Aftershock a little bit earlier, right? They were running out of time. If he would preemptively put the Aftershock on that Heaven plant, he would have stopped Yassine from having a good and beneficial plan while losing him precious seconds. Oh, anyway, Yassine just goes in.
Yeah, I mean, man is right now left lane autoban and tries to pretty much outrace everybody as Korea is falling in the process. This is one by the book. As I say it, Akukos and Rhyme still finds two. And so this kind of force play is going to be punished, at least for now, as JD still tries. Shouldn't overextend if you ask me. And Draken is taking a bit of ground. That spike might just go down in a second here, Lofar.
They still have a decent position. The equipment is not there though. Draken has only a classic. So this might be problematic for him. He's in a very tough spot. He will be in a crossfire soon, but that wall saves him. And now, well, save is a little bit late. He still gets one kill. Draken with that classic. Worth. 100%.
Absolutely worth it, and it seems like that paid off. Safe is still alive. Safe is still finding a frag, and it seems like the clutch minister has called in as he's trying his best. He finds a round where needed, and that's young Safe finding a round. This is him bringing home something that Guild needed to finally stop the momentum of NiP.
Well, so this round is pretty weird. I feel like NiP were off-timed on that retake 2 versus 1. They didn't push from both angles at the same time. Safe was just having a 1v1 battles, which is beneficial for him. But we have to say something about Yassine. That aggressive push, that showstopper, put the first nail in the coffin of this round for NiP. And it was so important for him to open up the space, open up that kill with the showstopper. I have to see the stats with him when it comes to the showstopper usage, but I feel like 9 out of 10 times he gets a kill with it. It's actually quite insane.
Yeah. And so we have a little pause.
Well, let's take a look at the stats. Ryan with 10-2, which builds up the ult economy as well. Astra on 6 out of 7. Will they go for aggressive orb control somewhere? It looks like A, right? 4 people on A, stacking the side. There's the camera, something that Safe is using almost every single round on the attack. And something that NiP should know. So they should be able to destroy it, but no, they just go back. They don't do anything with it. Interesting. And this is something I mentioned. Because of that, they have... Guild has just so much control. They were visible in that camera. They know. NiP knows that Guild is creeping up Heaven B. There's a smoke on CT. Yeah. That's the fake on B. They still have control. NiP has control of those vents because they still have the trap. In the meantime, Breach is holding CT on A, so he knows that no one is crossing.
Yeah, but not only that is so crucial right now about Akukos. I genuinely believe his ult could play a very important role to make a difference, throwing them all in the air when needed. As we know, you know, Guild is planting so late. Again, planting so late. It seems like they'll take the entire way around, enter through B main, and if then Akukos actually activates it, he could just deny it. He could just basically bring it back. But as I say that,
30 seconds left.
they fall for it, don't they?
Yeah, they do. I mean, this is a throwaway round for NiP since the equipment is very subpar. I mean, hold that thought. They have one Bucky. So, maybe something crazy from JD will happen. We'll see. But it's gonna be tough. They are 4 versus 5 of 5 rifles when they are very...
There it goes.
Hold that thought. 5 versus 3 against, you know, all rifles. And Chihuahua still gets a kill.
That's pretty much then the round. I mean, Akukos dying. This was like for me the condition where I thought this must work in that sense. And Rhyme is still trying, still hoping, but ain't making it work. The third round is secured for Guilds after quite, you know, not necessarily phenomenal, but solid start from NiP.
It was actually important for Rhyme to try to get a kill because if he would have he would have got 1 kill and then die. Then his showstopper would have been ready for this round, which is a big game changer, right? You know, you can stop an initial push with just your press of a button, right? You press X and suddenly every single opponent is like, uh-oh, we have to go back. I'd rather not meet that rocket up close. So they now probably will have to play for oh, never mind, he goes anyway. Ryan just doesn't care. He gets in, he destroys the trap. The camera is being placed now, something that will be destroyed as well. But that triggers a very fast attack on B by Guild because of that push on A. And Draken pays the price with his ultimate being off-timed. Yasin, Satchels on Rafters.
There you go. It's not working. It's not working according to plan, and they even know how to counter that. And that brings us to a B side pretty much secure. A plan coming in 100% as Rhyme is looking for it, but he can't use his ult under no circumstance. Still is Chihuahua chiming, and that spike still is not on the ground. That spike is still not on the ground, but it is Bonkar, who knows how to secure the round with a free K here for Guild.
Bonker with the impact kills. Really, I'm saying this over and over again. Bonker really steps up. In all of those games in the past, he wasn't really so impactful when it comes to like damage and actual kills. But nowadays, I see him not having maybe a lot of frags, but most of those frags are impact kills, are clutch kills. It's something to secure the round, and that allows, you know, the guilds to get those chain rounds as well. This was such a good example, by the way, of trading. Every single player was ready for that push, ready to trade his teammate to not get a single death in vain.
Well said. Not a single death in vain, indeed. And so, I very much have to say, NiP here on the defense, struggling surprisingly much, I have to say. I wouldn't have expected it to be a bit of an issue right now, but I think we can talk about that a lot later on. For now, it is Guild purely playing on time and purely playing on map control at the moment.
It's very quiet.
Indeed. Yeah. Poor man. I mean, what do you want to do about it? 3 rifles are just pointed towards you. No real chance.
I mean, he didn't have a bucket, man.
Nah, I mean, the bucket would have been hit, right? But
yeah.
For now, it seems like there's not much more coming than that, as they deny any access to the site. And as they try to look for more frags, there's your punishment for getting a little greedy.
That? I don't know.
Drake is not happy about it. I mean, it's a rifle lost. It's not a neck breaker, but it's still a rifle lost. As in the meantime, Leo is sucked in. Can't help anyone.
Like, leave me be. Oh wow, that's a nice shot from JD. He is just so known for those sheriff shots.
Yeah, and they right now still trying.
One.
And this is crucial because he's still damaging the economies a lot of Guild. It will not help them long term in that sense. And he tries to really draw them to the site, die of the blast radius, and
he gets one more, right?
Safe's making it. Safe's making it.
Actually did get safe. Yeah. So this is very important, but I just wanted to reiterate on split. On split, the attack in a competitive setting, I would say, is like is a little bit favored. It's a map that really likes complicated executes and double fakes and so on. But in comparison, when you play just competitive mode in the game, like solo queue, this is heavily defense based. So there's a huge difference between actual teams and just solo queue when it comes to how the map is being played, and I like it a lot. Split is one of my favorite maps because of this aspect. It's just so good to play on attack because you can be very creative with how you get the map control, and Guild right now is like showcasing that, apart from the fact that they planned in the last 5 seconds. But yeah, I
mean, Lover, I don't really know what you're talking about. When I play with the 4 muted guys in matchmaking, it's the same. I mean, what are you, it's just like Guild 2.0 right now. Is it Guild 2.0 from Bind we're experiencing on Split as well, as the B side has been pretty much left open and NiP is taking risks and using a lot of freedom, but it seems like they left the gate open, and as they left the door open, free real estate for Yasin and Co. As you know, that spike is going to hit the ground anytime soon. The retake might be just not that easy, as though NiP still got chances.
Pretty happy with the fact that Guild switched up the tempo. Yeah, they planned in the first 15 seconds here. Very good pace. This is something that was always very critical of them when it comes to Split, and now it seems like they're actually changing it up, and it has success. They have the plan. There's the post plan. There's the Cosmic Divide, which allows NiP to take some map control. Rolling Thunder comes from Bonker, stops the retake.
Oh no. And it's not going to be that easy, but Chihuahua might just play a critical role talking about it. Here's the flank. But the wall is working both ways. And so Guild once more obtain control and keep it. 6th round that goes on the side of the Swedes. And the team is sending NiP in a spiral of drought, most likely. When we take a look at the economy right now, which we can do in a second, you will experience that it's not looking that bright. I mean, surely they can afford it. Surely they can buy up stuff. It's not like that. But it's nothing that goes up for the following and following and following because you invest again and again and again. It's not really a difficult equation here.
I mean, I'm really impressed by Guild right now. The utility usage on the anti-retake was so well placed. Bonkard with the Rolling Thunder, the flashes, the fault line, everything was used on point. And it was also well timed. Well, never mind, we're gonna talk about it later because
Let's do that.
Guild just goes in on mid. There's a battle here. Oh, wow.
No. I mean, all the resources pretty much used there in mid. And in the meantime, NiP are down by 2 players. Ryan, as well as a Kukos, have
not
been
looking
left.
good.
No, not at all, Lovar. And the thing is, once again, Guild is like, we found the entry flex, let's slow it down again, because there's no disadvantage for them. There's no pressure for them at this point in time that forces them to take any weird aggression. They even know where one player is right now, and that's minimum link.
But I feel like they cannot go in a different position right now because they know that JD has this res, right? Okay.
There you go. That's Korea. I mean, talking about the rest might be just the man advantage, but what? A very odd risk. A very, very odd risk that we just saw right there. You wouldn't imagine this to be taken like that. Just walks out in the open.
With his hands out, no weapon, not even looking that side. That was such a high risk, very, very low reward. So that was really odd. I'm not sure what to think about that because I wanted to say that Guild will not go away from this position because they know JD has an ult and he would like to res one of his teammates. So they just double down on mid and just slowly proceed from there, right? Slowly gaining map control. And that was actually something that we're trying to do, but Korea just went in and gets a double kill, right? So they had to be a little bit more reactive to that. But still, JD just coming in, sprinting to a body to get a res when he has no certainty if someone else is here was very odd. And I don't like that. NiP seems to be very, let's say, reckless in their decision making and very, yes, good choice of words, messy and non-disciplined.
You know, a thing that I really want to point out here again, and that's crucial to the entire process we're seeing right here, is that when we talk about retakes, there is a major difference between NiP and Guild. Because NiP on A, they have a 14%, and on B, they have an 8% win rate of retaking a site once the bomb is planted. And that is a big issue, because in comparison to Guild, on both A and B, on A, they have a 52% retrieval of post-plant retakes, and a 37% retake on B. Those are big differences in numbers. And once that spike goes down, it feels like NiP are losing control entirely.
That's for sure. Like it's a very hard task ahead of NiP, and it's really not looking good. Look, this is very similar to Bind. Like I'm feeling like I can use the same sentences I was using on Bind.
Do it.
It's 7-3, and NiP is just looking at their bad economy right now. They're looking at a 9-3 half, most likely. The old economy is also on the side of Guild, and because of the fact that now they have an eco ahead of them, right? Guild will be able to build up Bonkar's ultimate, maybe Yassine's ultimate, because he can just farm those low-equipped people, and that will put it as a disadvantage on the full buy next round. So this is spiraling out of control, and without a pistol round for NiP on the attack, I don't know. This is a very slim chance for NiP to actually turn it on. And
there you go. There we start. Finally,
barrel. Unlucky.
You know, Lofa, you had your time to have your chill talk about those very important strategical things, but Guild is like, it's time to bring the action to the table. As you are right, though, taking a look at it, it is Rhyme who's trying to make something work with the Sheriff as Draken finally takes out a Kukos. Korea is on site and waiting because that spike will make a move and it will certainly come towards the A site. The utility now brought in could be a game changer. Talking about it, Korea's at it again, eliminated though in the process. JD coming in from behind! And this is the accuracy you're looking for as you're still looking to find more. Spike has to be planted and Chihuahua, it is the duel of the Cyphers. Who's gonna put the hat off is the question. And it's gonna be the Swede versus the Russian. Chihuahua's trying to prove his worth and he does get that round number 4 for NiP. A sign of life, and finally there's Pulls back in the team with the Ninjas.
Ninja just... They just like to prove me wrong whenever I say something reasonable. They're like, nah, we're not gonna allow that. We're just gonna get a headshot from a Marshall, you know, on the initial kill on Yassine. Then JD comes in, double kills with a Sheriff, just 2 bullets. Just 2 bullets there, here and there, gets a double kill,
Last
opens up,
round
and
in
then
the
it's
half.
a 1v1 between Chihuahua and Safe. I feel like Safe had time to still use his camera. He knew the exact position of where his opponent was dropping, but this is nuts. Like, NiP here...
Remaining. 10 seconds left. Down.
I don't even know how to explain that. Look at this position. Save was planting, by the way, with a knife out, so he didn't have a fast equip on this Vandal. This is really odd and really good for NiP to breathe life into their chances. There's a small light at the end of the tunnel right now for them because of this miracle round.
Agreed. Absolutely 100% agreed. And as you see right there, the 7-4 is, you know, the lifeline here for NiP, at least what it felt like, because otherwise it could have been that 9-3 and that swiftly turning into a loss. And this team right here, NiP, you know, joined Valorant as one of the first professional teams, had a lot of roster changes ever since, now seemingly built a proper roster, and they're still looking for that trophy, they're still looking for that title, and NiP, they're looking for it still. They're still looking for more frags though. That's the first most important thing. As Draken though hunts, I have my doubts here low for that more is coming out of that scary omen.
Oof. Wow, I'm so impressed by NiP right now. They were able to hold that inner strength in them and make a comeback. Like 7-5 here.
Yeah.
If someone is tuning in right now to the game, this shouldn't be a 7-5. It should have been a 9-3 for Guild. But NiP with that resilience, with that rebellion against Guild, just allowed themselves to keep them in this final round. And this is, let's remember, this is an important match. This is for qualifications. They had the team that wins here has the actual chance at getting to Reykjavik. This is the most important map for them so far. They played in the Valorant history, and you know, the careers are just like gonna have a very big shining point if they get to the next stage. So this is a very important map. And now the pistol round. Let's look at the NiP on attack. What is the setup? Very similar, by the way. Default camera from Cypher on A to get control. It's still not destroyed. It's just peeking there on A, getting a little bit of info. And 4 people creeping up B garish.
The boombot could be the first sign for Guild what kind of tendency we have. Obviously there's no sign of life over there on the A side, pure silence, and here they explode, and as they right now go all over the place, it is something that seems to be exactly favoring Chihuahua. The man's back alive, and so NiP get the first 2 frags. B is now gonna be the site that needs to be retaken by Guild.
After ahead of Guild, they have to it takes such a long time to destroy this age wall and pistol round. It's not even a joke. Like, you have to sacrifice like 10 seconds, maybe even 15 with all the reloads. Chihuahua with the triple kill, but Yassine finds a Kukos and Garage B, and this is opening a little bit of space for that retake. Will Leo have the chance to get another kill and try to help Yassine in that bad position that he is right now in? With the 47 HP, it's not looking good. He gets headshot.
Thanks.
But yeah, that's
ridiculous.
I mean, it's a tough task. Like, it's 5v3. They have all the control of the site. All the angles are covered. The crossfire is there. There was a small chance of Akukos dying in Garage B because of that. Like, Yasin was able to creep up. But I feel like the only moment that it was winnable for Guild was if Yasin wouldn't have picked first and if Leo would get a miracle kill. And that will just bring the attention from everyone else onto him, where Yasin can just try to sneak on site then. But it's a good sign for NiP. 7-6 right now. Guild will probably not try to force this round. They get 2 guns, so there's a Sheriff and a Frenzy. I would expect actually to be the other way around. Leo with the Sheriff and Draken with the Frenzy, but it's actually Draken with it.
The thing is, what was really a silver lining for both teams when we talk about the previous maps is the conversion rounds, which both teams, had high expectations for and still lost them. And, Guild, a team that might just have the opportunity to do more. Talking about it, good night, Rhyme. Yasin proves that he's the #1 race on the server. Finally eliminated. Save still staying back on site, and that is the spike down. Bonker with the surprise momentum can't find a kill, and it's still that spike that needs to hit the ground.
Man, Yasin is just nuts. How does he find a kill like that? And that kill by Yasin opens up the Spectre for his teammate, and that's the moment where who was that? Bonker, right? Bonker got a kill on Kriya because of that. It's actually nuts how impactful that kill from Yasin was.
Absolutely. And now, it's not an easy retake. Talking about it, Draken chimes in, finds the first, and pretty much shatters the defense. Talking about it, Chihuahua and JD bring it back against the Russian duo Shines. And the 7-7, the tie is finally there. I'll be honest with you, Lofar. A few rounds back, I thought, okay, chapter closed, see you tomorrow, guys. But for this one right here, it might be brought back by NiP. And I believe right here that the hype is real. Emil right now pretty much bringing the hype, hopefully, to those guys.
Man, this is a nuts game right now. Yasin single-handedly making this round very expensive for NiP, and because of that they're not able to build up their economy on attack, which is very, very important. But Guild with 3 small shields on the defense and 1 Bulldog. Man, Bonker loves that Bulldog. I mean, you have to take into account that he's playing Breach, which is the most expensive agent in the game. 700 for a full equipment, 600 on the flashes, 100 on the aftershock.
Yeah.
So he is gonna rock that Bulldog a lot. I guess he practices in the range as well. Because of that, no one else does.
You always should. I think you should always practice every single weapon. But getting away from that, Rhyme moving backwards. NiP in this case, we were obviously very mixed by. You saw the previous round getting very close, and that obviously made it very costly. Woo! As Bonker has to retreat. Funny-wise not killed by Akukos. And Yasin, I'm not sure how much they have him on the radar. I'll be honest with you, how much awareness they have about that position. Talking about it, Safe and Co. really use all their utility right over on the side. Yasin and Rhyme are aware of each other, and this obviously puts NiP in a position where that spike could be down any second soon, and this starts to build the pressure on Guild. Akukos eliminated though, and now the retake is on. The team that is so far so successful with it.
I'm really confused what was happening with the positioning of Yasin right now. He actually got a kill on someone backside? What was it? I'm not sure how that happened, but wow, Leo!
There we go. And that's so crucial. Look at that. Kriya. It's just coming in as well. Chihuahua, though, Chime saw that Yasin is jumping around, but it is a diffuse once more coming in, and look at that pack. It is putting him back. It is forcing him to start again. But here is the ult. I have a little bit of a deja vu coming back, but not happening again. It is Yasin. The clutch minister is calling, and it's time to pay your taxes.
Clutch.
Wow, no logic. No logic. Yasin just does it. He doesn't play the odds. He goes for the most high reward plays he can go, and he makes it work. What a player to watch. He makes it so entertaining. And you know what? That Raze ult is something that we have seen on Bind single-handedly making that clutch work, and he goes for it again. I have to question NiP decision making here. Like, how do they allow this to happen? There was no There was no defuse coming in after that satchel. They could have played time. They could have get the reloads in. They could have just waited for him. Instead, they allow Yassine to shine.
Yeah, I mean, you have to see it like that. Yassine takes the im out of impossible every single round, every single time, every single clutch. You expect this man, no, he can't do it. That's not realistic, right?
It's like Tom Cruise running, man. It's like unstoppable.
I'm not quite sure if I'm too much on that one, but
did you not see Tom Cruise run in a film? It's
listen,
like...
Lofar, if there's anything you don't want to ask me about, it's everything with pop culture. I'm very bad with that. You're gonna notice once in a while when you make pop cultural references.
Okay, this is why you didn't get any of my jokes so far. Okay, I understand.
Exactly, this is why I didn't laugh once. It's not because my humor is bad. Either way, you see, being actually concussed there and finding a frag like that on Chihuahua. Ridiculous move, but finally eliminated. Still finds a double. JD killed in the process. Wouldn't have expected that worked.
Oi!
But they're on it. They're on the side here. And that means Lofar, they might just have a very good chance of bringing this one home and making a tie again.
It was actually pretty odd. Like, everyone just stood their ground. There's grenade. I'm just gonna stand it. You know, the approach is a little bit different what you typically see. Draken with the win against Korea. 20 HP left. Leo has the heal for him. If Leo gets the kill, he opens up the ultimate as well. I don't think it's impactful, although he has a body next to him. But their time is running out. They go in onto the side. Sash, what is happening?
This is once more very weird. Take a look at it. Rhyme finding a fourth, though, and Leo... Yeah, I mean, he tried in that case, right? It's still looking for the exit, someone swinging too wide. But here is that round number 8, and thankfully there is the round number 8, really. I was just waiting for this to happen again, because otherwise I would have been worried. Momentum-wise, Lofar, I would have been really worried. First of all, economically speaking, you'll see it right now. It is still looking mixed, and NiP won the round, but, you know, their wallets don't look like they're somewhat rich.
Mm-hmm. And this is an open game, man. It's 8-8. The economy is looking not bad for both of those teams, although Guild will be on the lower buy this round, but it's understandable by the back and forth between those teams right now, when there's just so many people getting killed every single round, right? But let's take a look at the utility. Rhyme, Showstopper available. JD, the Resurrection available as well. Chihuahua, it's not that impactful with his ult, like, you know. It's funny because the Cypher's ult is that if you have it charged like this, it's essentially at 8th charger ultimate. The only one in the game, because you still need a kill to get it active, right? You cannot just activate it like this. You still need basically a body. And Leo on the other side, only one available with the ultimate. Yassine far away. Oh, okay. It's 2 missing. He can get that in a second. Draken, 6 out of 7.
Bamboozled.
Yeah, but they're playing time.
Yeah, very well said. They're playing time. And the very crucial aspect of all of this right here is, you know, I mentioned 2 duels in the beginning that I find crucial. That is both Sages, that is Leo and JD, obviously. And for me, JD is by far one of the most impressive support players, really, to take a look at. You know, like I mentioned in the beginning, in previous teams he played different agents and everything was, you know, somewhat mixed. Then he came back to, you know, a very solid support role, and you can rely on him finding the frags. Not only supporting, but rely on him finding the frags and rely on the Bucky, as usual.
Yassine with the opening kill with the Bucky. Right click from 15 meters for that body shot. For 160, absolutely nuts. And Yassine is one of his showstopper, puts a huge dent into NiP's plan. They have to play for the rest, but a Guild knows that. They're gonna try to get some map control, a little bit awkward.
No. You underestimated, and that's a bit of a waste, but at the same time, they definitely have the information about Leo, who's just nearby. It could become costly as they're all rotated. Talking about it, only one frag found. Yeah, it's all right. It's not too much of a crazy impact, as in the meantime, it's safe.
Spike planted.
The only man standing. And, you know, as we see right there, Cypher remains chanceless. The agent that, by the way, claims that he was born on Binds, and I think we saw it on the previous map, which with Guild being somewhat born on Bind, but the Rebirth is over here on split 9-8 for NiP.
I mean, yes, he's seen open this round as usual. It's like a recurring theme so far in this match. But I feel like Draken was a little bit reckless here, you know? You can read that your opponents will probably get back to his body where he's seen got the kill, and you can just wait for that moment, right? You have two players there, you can spam the Sage Wall if it's gonna get built, and you know, Yasin might go off again after a free kill from that ultimate, because then he just has his showstopper available. But it's still okay. It was a throwaway round for Guild, but now this is the important moment, right? It's 8-9. If NiP gets this, they go into the double digits. They're so much closer and closer to closing out this entire match and advance to the next stage. So
Agreed.
How do you approach this? 3-0's available. Yasin just approaches it by just going mid, shooting the showstopper, even punched the wall in frustration.
Yeah, I mean, I understood his thought process, but that didn't pay off. You seen, though, the man can use a rifle, that's for sure. Rhyme is coming in at the right time, let's put it that way, as Leo is slowed and concussed for the moment. The A-side aggression has happened, but a swift rotation from Guild might pay off. The double from Leo is there, and that is for sure the 9th, except Chihuahua is the man who barks loud, but ain't happening. Put it back on the leash, Safe says, and so, tied up again.
What is that from Leo, man? Like, that is such an insanely valuable thing to do. Like the double kill on defense, like in like simple metrics. Whenever you defend a site and you get 1-for-1 as a defender, that's not really favorable because the map still stays the same size. You still have the two sides, but you have less defenders and the opponents can just outnumber you. But when you get 2-for-1, that is basically putting your team on the map. But hey, let's talk about the execute because NiP is going fast.
Yeah,
they already have the ramp control. They go in. Draken stands in the paint shows. He's pushed out.
Yeah, and I mean, usually from NiP you would expect slow stuff, but they said whatever. We're just pretty much put it on drive this thing and fire on all 5 cylinders. No turbocharger needed. You don't need to supercharge that thing as well. They're just going swift, but pretty much hit the brakes for the moment. As entry on Draken has been found, the kind of chaos they have ascended over on the ramp seems to pay off.
The thing is, there's now the reversal. NiP knows that Guild has the resurrect. Leo most likely will go for that res, so they're just gonna wait it out. Rhyme will be waiting there for that res. In the meantime, Bonker is solely defending that side. He's still standing.
He's still standing, and that's true. Can't find much more. And I think, you know, they will pretty much guard what Leo does. Not quite sure if he's gonna get a revive in, especially as the only man standing. Rather keep it, falls down. Seems
Bailed
like
out.
somebody has a guardian angel.
Yeah, and it's not in League of Legends. But man, that was such an important round. I really feel like the way that approached this round was very efficient. You know, very fast. Ramp control was there. Then the paint shells were giving a lot of space on those vents area. Draken had to go back, get the heal, then he went back to the vents, used the paranoia, but just peeked into it. And I feel like with the 4 players available there, peeking into that paranoia was a death wish anyway, because even if someone is affected, there's probably like 2 guys that are not affected, and they just hold that angle, and Draken paid the price, and because of that they were just so clumped. Astral, by the way, very good usage, cut off the entire map, but decided to just get so much control. Bonker was a nuisance. If he would have gotten like more kills, could have been totally different, but he was just overwhelmed. Now let's focus on the setup of the attack. Astra is using a smoke that should confuse a little bit of Guild, but Yasin has the presence on Mail, so he knows that the smoke doesn't really do much. Now they're all clumped in the A lobby, but there's no presence for Guild in B garage, so they cannot trigger the rotations yet. They have no idea what's happening. Look at this.
Yeah, the thing is, this is going to be a costly round for Guild, but this is a must-win round from Guild. They have 4 ults right here, Lofar, and those 4 ults must finally be put to use. As though we take a look at it, 1 is for Revive, 1 is for Vision, and you know, only Bonkar really has a useful one right here. 39 seconds left on that clock. and 39 seconds that might just pretty much predict the outcome of it. Rhyme knows that there is someone back in CT. Rhyme knows that he has to swing wide to find the frag, and this is the ult gone. Safe back on site known, and so the kind of information they have is critical, but Draken at it again. Safe joins the party, and suddenly we're back to a tie. Most definitely we are, and I'm honest with you, Lofar, this smells like an overtime. This is having a really, really smelly smell of an overtime.
What did I just witness in this round? Like, what? I'm not sure what NiP's plan was here. Dry peeking elbow?
Yeah,
Like,
one by one.
and Rhyme with a knife out?
Remaining.
You can like, you know, say that NiP is a tactical team, but if you see a round like this is pure chaos. And I'm really not understanding what's happening, because they had a heaven control, right? They even got a kill on spawn, so they know that there's no one in the area. They should be prepared for a lot of people being in the elbow, and yet they're just peeking one by one. No trades expected, but here at least Guild stops the push by Rhyme with the wall. That was such a nice play.
The back and forth doesn't stop here.
Yeah.
The back and forth doesn't stop here, and I mean, it's not like NiP are way off the mark. Yeah, the previous round looked a little scrappy, but overall we see a solid performance coming in from them. But continuously individual performances like the one from Save right here. Save Guild again and again as he plays around the cage. I doubt he's the only one doing so. Yep, Rhyme's coming around. Leo just chimes in, and the revive ain't gonna be coming. Means the 2v2 is so critical right now for NiP. It could bring them in the advantage, but still.
Chihuahua is stuck. He's so stuck. He tagged Yassine.
Important.
He has the time to cross.
There you go.
But he's not checking heaven.
No! That can't be happening! That would have been the position you could have expected it, but ain't the case. Guild on the 11th now.
Oh no, I understand there's, you know, two angles that you have to guard, but you have a player that is, you know, trying to guard your CT from audio cues at least. So, oh man, not playing for that Haven when you're the most exposed there is a little bit unlucky. Such a round, big round for Guild. Insane, they're just turning it around. Oh man, what a match on our hands. 11-10. And look at NiP's equipment right now.
It's horrible. It's the worst. It's abysmal. I mean, what do you want to call it? You can use so many negative words for it. It's disastrous. It's frustrating. All of it. And they gotta make it work with it though here, Lofar. There's no other option. Otherwise, they must fight for overtime.
But do you use Akuko's Rolling Thunder? I don't think so. You need to save it for that overtime, right?
Do you?
I mean, you don't save it for the overtime. You save it for those rounds that will lead up to the overtime. Because right now, unless they get a first blood somewhere, right? Then you can try to cascade into using the utility. But if you use the utility just to push with this inferior equipment, you have a very low chance of actually getting kills. So it's a very, very weird position to be in, because they would love to win this round, but they are unfavored.
Absolutely. And I mean, I still have to say, name a more iconic duo than a Sheriff and JD finding one taps. That's definitely an issue.
Both Leo and JD are just very good at hitting heads.
Absolutely.
And when they are on sages, you know?
Yeah. I don't know what kind of magic it is with that agent, but they definitely hit something that you usually just see in those miracles or in those frag movies. But either way, you talked about it. Here's the Rolling Thunder, and someone is not even hit by it. Wonderful start. They still gotta find Bonkar, and this is so crucial because he was not affected by it, and he's still not dead. He's still not dead. Finally falls, but buys time for Guild. And you see that spike's on the ground. It still has to be found. Draken seems to save it right here, as though Krea's on it. Gotta put it down. It's not gonna be enough time. It's not gonna be enough time. It's not gonna be enough time. 12-10 Lofar.
What a round. I mean, it had everything.
Match point.
It had everything. Drama, thriller, horror. It had everything. Every single genre was here. Like, when I saw that spike being dropped in the open when you can spam from the box, I was like, oh no, this is a horror movie right now.
No way.
You know, look at this. Look at this.
Spike down. B.
And there's the pickup.
He just knows.
You see it. There's only one angle where your opponent can be. You can just shoot through it, and your opponents are on 100 and 125 HP. You go like a hot knife through butter for that box. So, oh my god, what a round. Exciting one to watch, but
Absolutely.
unlucky for NiP a little bit, you know, but well played by Guild.
Yeah. But at the same time, we're not done. We're far away from being done. Kukas and Co. still stand a proper chance. Still are capable of finding the success right here. It's 2 more rounds. That's not a lot, Lothar. We have seen way tougher comebacks.
They're all clumping into events. There's one player controlling a lobby, which is Chihuahua. But he's stuck in front of a smoke, which dissipates now. They made a little bit of noise.
Very nice idea. I love to see it. Directly
Nice
preparing.
execution.
And so, heading over to the A site, but it is the kind of round where you need to perform magic and you have to pull the rabbit out of the hat. But for now, Safe, the only thing he does is behead a Kukas. Same though comes as JD and Cole fight for it. Kreia and Chihuahua are the only 2 left. And so Safe is nothing else than the pillar of defense. You need 5 points of health. 5 points of health. That seems impossible. And it remains impossible. Guild with the 13-10.